Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Guys, welcome back to another episode of The Cave podcast. As you guys know, we have a network of high net worth, ultra high net worth Muslims, entrepreneurs, investors, senior corporate executives that come together and network and talk about really amazing things about how to get to that next level, that door that's behind the curtain, or that room that's behind the curtain that most people don't know about till they finally get there. They give each other access. This podcast was made to become an extension of that network. For those of you who are not members, to be able to get insights and access to some of the things that we discussed yesterday. We just had our first event of the year, Conquer 2026. So it's too early for me to show you footage from the event, but it'll be out very soon. You'll see the vlog, you'll see everything. We had great speakers, great mastermind, people connected, and they came together to talk about what they're doing in 2026. What are the secret moves that they're going to make in terms of asset allocation, the strategies in business, things that they are sensing and seeing from their industries that others are not. Get together and just work together to kind of give each other these ideas and brainstorm and even stress test each other's ideas and strategies for 2026. We're going to be repeating the same event, inshallah, on the 24th of this month in London. It's a global network, guys. It's a global network. It's not just here. It's all over the world. So we're going to be in London. I'll be there personally myself with the members in London. Guys who are members in Europe are flying in. And in order to be able to have access to this event and all the other events that we do monthly, sometimes we do 2 a month, 4 retreats a year, and all the other great stuff, you need to be a member. So you need to apply at the link below if you want to be part of this network, inshallah. With that said, let's get into our discussion. I have my panel. I'll just briefly introduce them again. We have Brother Ebrahim, the big man, mashallah, 9-figure exit, Hafiz of the Quran, Allahumma barik. We have Sam, the Mughal of real estate, $150 million in assets under management. We have the king of construction right here, mashallah, tabarakallah. Yeah. So today we've got some amazing things that we're going to be discussing, inshallah ta'ala. We're going to be talking about how Mark Zuckerberg just purchased Manus, which is an AI company that has Chinese roots. We're going to talk about how Donald Trump has been trying to get the Fed to cut interest rates, and the guy who was refusing that is now actually going to be leaving. So there's an expectation that the next guy that comes in will do it if Donald Trump asks him, and that could create chaos inside the economy. We're going to talk about how silver is currently, the price has just shot up, and you know what this means for the average person and how we diversify our portfolios. We're going to talk about leadership. Is hands-on leadership better than hands-off leadership? Or is there a balance that most people just completely miss? What about Freemasons? They made a comeback in the early 2000s. Then we were like, wait, this is extreme. And then it was only crazy conspiracy people that were talking about Freemasons. But now the Freemasons have come out and they're seeking a legal injunction against the Metropolitan Police. What the hell is going on? Is there something hidden? Do they have skeletons in their closet that they don't want the police to find out? We're going to talk about that as well. We're also going to discuss about how 2026 is potentially going to be, may Allah protect us, a really turbulent year. And many of you guys may have heard, but the president of Venezuela was just picked up by the American Special Forces.
He went for a little ride
and take it to America. What the hell is going on?
He went to Disneyland.
So we're gonna talk about that and so much more. This conversation is gonna go off into so many tangents. You guys are gonna get such a broad understanding of what's happening economically, what's happening, in terms of like the global landscape, and you're gonna get a lot of business lessons and leadership lessons. With that said, how you guys doing, man?
Great.
Alhamdulillah.
It feels like I haven't seen you in a while.
Does feel so, yes.
I just feel bad for Maduro. He's not having a good night.
So it's crazy, right? 2026. It's
kicked off.
It's kicked off like,
What, he got captured in 24 hours?
Yeah, I think less than 24 hours.
So I came across this article written by a think tank in America where they were talking about potential conflicts to look out for in the next
2026.
In 2026, and I actually mentioned it was the article was by CFR. The article actually predicted Venezuela. It mentioned,
Really?
yeah, it mentioned, it's probably just a few days ago. It mentioned that it divided all of the world conflicts into 3 categories: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Tier 1 was highly likely, high impact, and Venezuela was right there. If I'm not mistaken. And look at that, on the first day of the year. That's
Crazy.
First week, yeah.
So it is concerning. Like, what does that mean from an economic
Question is, do regular Americans even care about Venezuela?
Yeah.
Remember you were telling me today morning, Sheikh, what is policy, right?
Yeah.
It's for people.
Yes.
So I don't know how, as an American, I don't think anybody really cares who's president in Venezuela and what he's doing. Allahu alam.
Is there any implications from like a economic perspective, a global perspective? Is there anything that, as entrepreneurs, as investors, our audience who is in this demographic, does this affect us in any way?
I think the big word is uncertainty, right? You don't know what you don't know. You don't know why they did this. What are the next moves? What are the repercussions? How would Russia react? How would China react? We don't know what we don't know.
How do you feel about this?
So I think it's very relevant. So it's actually crazy that the year started off this way, and in such a short time, the president was actually captured
Of a free country.
of a free country.
That's the crazy part.
That's the crazy part. How it impacts us. So I think Venezuela has a lot of natural resources, especially oil. They have the largest
Oil reserves.
oil reserves globally. And so the pretext of war in Venezuela is drugs. But is it really drugs? Like is drugs the new term for?
More drugs actually come from Mexico than
I
Venezuela.
was going to say.
Yeah.
So
Literally. Or Colombia.
Yes.
Maybe it's a new
Back in the day,
code for
War on drugs.
weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
Yeah.
We already know why
Right.
that happened. So is it a repeat of that, or is it really something else? Is it war against China? Because China has given Venezuela large oil-backed loans to the tune of $60 billion. China is an importer of Venezuelan oil. And so is it to impact Chinese energy dependency? We don't know. As Sam says, we don't know what we don't know. But I think it's interesting times, and I think it clearly indicates that there's a lot of volatility ahead.
Yep.
So I've just checked online, right? This is the part that concerns me. So it is confirmed that it was Delta Force.
Like you said, even without checking.
So yeah, and I'll tell you why I knew.
MashaAllah.
So yes, reports from multiple major news outlets do say that U.S. Army Delta Force was the unit that captured Maduro as part of operation inside Venezuela. So this is the part about this that concerns me. Then we'll come back to the economic side of things, right? Okay, so I have some bad news. I am pre-diabetic. I just got my bloods done recently because a good friend of mine, Umar, aka the Muslim PT, he said, Imran, get your bloods done, I'll check them for you. Found out that I'm pre-diabetic, my estrogen is high, unfortunately. Just to clarify, my testosterone is not low, but there's something going on inside of me which makes my estrogen high, and a bunch of other things. I'm not a scientist, but all of these things have been causing me brain fog, fatigue. I've been sleeping for like 9 hours a day. I've not been optimal. I keep crashing in the middle of the day. I eat food, I crash. So I had to quickly just get my life changed. I've tried to get in shape for 15 years. I needed this wake up call, but the wake up call wasn't enough. I've got this brother Umar, Muslim PT, by my side. He's helping me, he's training me, he's helping me with my diet program, and I just want to share with you guys. I've lost 2.5 kg in like the last 10 days. Alhamdulillah, and my brain is so clear. I'm on a calorie deficit right now, and I'm on such an extreme calorie deficit. But he's given me a meal plan that's allowing me to have like the healthy foods that are going to keep me going. And he's giving me supplements to take that are helping to kill my cravings and making my calorie deficit easy. I'll be honest with you, the first 5 days were hard, super hard. But suddenly on the 6th day, I had gone through most of the day on less than 500 calories, I'm not exaggerating, and my energy was 10. Do I look energetic right now? I am on no more. Today, I am no more than 1,100 calories, and that's how I'm going to end my day, right? But the foods are good, healthy, protein focused, and supplements. So, look, if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, no doubt there's going to be some underlying issues, but you can reverse it, inshallah ta'ala, with Allah's permission, His tawfiq. And if you're in your 20s, then you don't want to wait till you get to this point where you have this wake-up call, because I'll be honest with you, a year from now, I could actually have been diabetic. And we hear about parents being diabetic and friends, but you don't know what it's about. Being diabetic is actually such it's such a suffering, man. May Allah cure those who are sick. Amin. So if you want to get your life in shape, I'm telling you, this guy, Umar, is the guy, man, with Allah's permission. He's not going to just work with you to help you get buff. I don't know, you don't really care about the body. If you did, you would have done it. But he's going to help you get, energetic, focus. You're going to have energy throughout the day, and you're going to be healthy, inshallah ta'ala. So if you've been neglecting your health up until now, and you feel like there could be some issues, maybe you're experiencing issues now, inshallah, it's not too late. And it's a guy who actually cares. That's what I love about the guy. He actually cares and goes out of his way to help myself and get in shape and make sure I'm progressing. So you can apply for his coaching program at the link below. Inshallah, I really believe you won't regret it. And our life is important, man. To think that I could become diabetic and won't be able to be there for my kid. My diet, of course, only Allah knows when death's written, but you don't want to destroy yourself with your own hands. Like, what a travesty, right? So go to the link below, check out his program, and inshallah, hopefully you're going to join me as one of the Muslim PTs, guys. So go. I don't think most people understand how powerful the US military is. I'll give you an example, right? And you guys are familiar perhaps, but maybe your audience is not. So in terms of just Air Force, right? The strongest Air Force in the world is the US Air Force. Do you know who the second strongest Air Force in the world is?
Israel?
US Navy.
Air Force?
US Navy.
Really?
Yeah. Do you know who the third is?
U.S. Marshals.
Russia.
Okay.
Really?
Then the next, fourth and fifth are also air defense departments of other military institutions.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
The US possesses 4 out of the world's 5 greatest air defense or air force, groups or teams or whatever have you. So point being is that this is a different level, right?
It is.
It is a different level.
Because I just want to make a point just to show you, to your point, as how difficult it is to become the world's strongest air forces. You know how recently that Indian pilot passed away in the Dubai Air Show.
Yes.
So I started doing a little bit of research and stuff, though. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was flying an Indian-made jet.
Yep. Yep.
That jet, to come into production and to actually work and operate, I think took like 20 years or 25 years, and God knows how many billions just to get one model to work. It's so incredibly difficult and so incredibly expensive to make fighter jets that actually work and operate smoothly, like, the ones that the US has, that it can really take probably decades and billions, like an open budget. India had, and they have like a lot of really smart scientists, and they were struggling.
Fun fact, some of the best fighter jets come out of France. India actually had them in
India-Pakistan skirmish,
in that skirmish, Pakistan managed to shoot them down. It was the first time one of those jets was ever shot down. Just a fun fact.
And I heard the Pakistani Air Force is actually like really up there. Like the Pakistani pilots are known to be some of the world's best.
So yeah, I mean, they're doing something right. But coming back to this US thing, so US military is like on a different level, right? But now there's a lot of bureaucracy when it comes to military. So you can have a powerful military, but you need, for example, congressional approval and this, that, and it just doesn't react. So a lot of people don't know is that there's something called special forces inside the US. and special forces, they operate with a degree of autonomy. They can go and start wars and invade countries without congressional approval. This is a fact. There's no conspiracy. This happens, right? Which is why people, like, historically speaking, the US declared war in Libya, as in it was special forces. Special forces go into all these countries, and then what do? They basically just run operations. And the strongest and the most elite department of the special forces is the Delta Force. There's like 800 to 1,000, say 1,000 of them. And they are so powerful, they are so strong that they can topple the US government. Just 1,000 men. It's 1,000 men. So when I heard that Maduro was grabbed,
You automatically knew it was them.
bro, they didn't do an amphibious
Yeah, when we
attack.
shared the news with him, he didn't have to check anything.
Yeah, they didn't do an amphibious attack. Was there an amphibious attack? You tell me. Did they like?
We slept and woke up, and that was it.
So it's there's just guys going around, running around. They're doing their thing, bro, and they grabbed. So I'm saying, that's scary. Me personally, it's just as a reminder, man, the importance of dua, dhikr. You know, of course, look, we have nothing to worry about in that regard. Inshallah, we're not. I don't think they would consider us a problem, but just the fact that that can happen in the world, you know, is troubling. Also, what's interesting here is that CFR, the Council on Foreign Relations, think tank, they influence policy. They come up with articles and research that influence policy that gets passed in the States. They actually produced an article visualizing 2026 5 foreign policy trends to watch for. Interestingly, it mentioned the accelerating race for critical minerals, something that, you know, to expect policy changes, foreign policy changes, to advance US's, play in the accumulation for these critical minerals, because China, even though it doesn't house them, it processes many of these minerals. So it has the technology to process these minerals, and it's advancing at rate greater than China. Perhaps maybe this whole Venezuela thing is for the oil, because it's the greatest oil source of oil in the entire world, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, the largest proven oil reserves.
Yep.
Allah al-Musta'an. طيب, okay, so moving on from that, may Allah Azza wa Jal, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he told us to make dua for al-afa wal-afiyah. The Prophet said, don't hope to meet the enemy. He's telling the Sahaba this, but ask Allah for safety and protection. This dua is so, it's so underrated, unfortunately, man. Al-Abbas came to the Prophet ﷺ, he said, what should I make dua for, Ya Rasulullah? And the Prophet said, Al-Afiyah. And then he came back and asked it, and then the Prophet said, Al-Afiyah. And Abbas, the Prophet's uncle, he's telling Sahaba, make dua for afiyah a lot. And if you look at afiyah as a dua we make in our morning adhkar, right? Allahumma afini fi badni, Allahumma afini fi sam'i, Allahumma inni as'aluka al-afwa wal-afiyah fi dunya wal-akhirah. It's all in the morning adhkar, the evening adhkar, in the salah. Rabbi ighfirli warhamni wahdini wa'afini. This is something that we should make a lot of dua for, because it's such a powerful. What does it mean? It means, Allah, I ask you for protection and safety from all evil in this life and the next. Is there anything else you can ask for? I ask you for protection and safety from all evil in this life and the next. Any evil, any bad, any illness, any sickness, any poverty, any problem in your deen, any bad, period, in this life and the next. This, for you, for your family, it all gets covered. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-afwa wal-afiyah. So this is such a powerful, beautiful dua. Make it between the adhan and the qama. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-afwa wal-afiyah. We have to ask Allah for protection and safety, man. Ameen.
Amin.
And alhamdulillah, we live in a very safe country, and Ebrahim alayhi salam made dua for the safety of his land. He said, Allah, make this land safe. We ask Allah to extend the safety of our countries where we live, and to protect them from any bad, from any evil. Ameen. طيب. Okay, listen. I'm not a person that brings you investment opportunities very often, and if I do, I can guarantee you and promise you one thing: it's been looked over and scrutinized at least 3 times over. So there is a brother called Sam Amin. You might have seen him on my podcast, and he, Allah Barik, is helping Muslims become rich through real estate. Now, This is not for people that are trying to go from 0 to 1. We're talking about guys that have savings, people that have at least $100,000 liquid capital ready to be deployed. He has an opportunity for you. It's a project right here in Dubai, 100% riba free, inshallah, 50% returns within 2 years. And there are only a very few bit of allocations left. The land has been purchased, the architectural work has already been done, and very soon they're going to be selling off-plan, inshallah ta'ala. And once the off-plan sales start, the door closes. Just so you know how much of a golden opportunity this is, you are currently able to get in at the land where it's 1,000 dirham per square foot, inshallah ta'ala. They're going to be selling this at 1,700 plus dirham per square foot. Do you understand how big that margin is? With Allah's permission, is tawfiq. This type of opportunity, it's not just rare, it may never even ever come round again at this stage. So it would be not smart to miss this opportunity, especially when it's halal. There's no riba involved, inshallah ta'ala. So this is genuinely and truly the final call. And once the door closes, please don't message me and those, I'm talking to those that actually know me personally, sending me messages on WhatsApp saying, please get me in. Once it's done, it's done. So again, if you have $100,000 minimum liquid cash ready to deploy within the next 30 days, only in that situation, should you apply at the link below, and you can speak to one of Sam's team members directly on the phone, do all the due diligence, ask all the questions, they'll put you in touch with his investors, inshallah ta'ala, from the past. You can see it's all legit, and then hopefully you can do the deal. With that said, may Allah bless you. Apply at the link below. With that said, let's move on. So today's Monday, and there's expectations of volatility. We're recording this on Saturday, by the way, guys. So 2 days before you're seeing it, this was recorded. So there seems to be some talk about potential volatility in the market with regards to silver. So what has happened, and where are we at right now?
So silver traditionally has been quite, or the proponents for silver have argued that it's a limited mineral that is, or has limited supply, has utility greater than gold because it's
greater than gold.
Utility-wise, yeah.
Utility-wise,
It can be used for more.
used
More
for more
things,
things.
yeah.
Interesting.
Gold is very fragile, right, Sheikh?
Yes. And so it's used in batteries, it's
Yep.
used in solar-powered equipment, etc. And so they've been beating the drums for many years now that it's undervalued. And the reason for it being undervalued is the banking superpowers suppressing the market value.
Why have they been wanting to suppress the market value?
To keep you into currency.
Interesting. Okay.
So
Undervalued by how much, Sheikh?
there's different
6.8 times. Sorry. No. More than that.
Well, were you the one telling me, Sheikh, about the nisab?
Yes.
You told me that. Based
Yes,
on that
yes.
calculation, it's way more.
It's 70 times. Sorry, I put a post inside of the cave.
Times less?
Yeah, because the nisab amount Prophet Islam gave,
Sallallahu
Sheikh would give the numbers.
Yeah.
Based on that and equivalent to gold, like silver is nowhere close today. Like from 1400
70
years
to 100 times.
Yeah.
70 to 100 times undervalued. If either that or gold is so okay. So
With the numbers,
right? So the nisab, as in the point at which you pay zakat, or zakat is due on your money, is when your wealth is the equivalent to 85 grams in gold or 595 grams in silver. So 85 grams in gold is 20 gold coins at the time of the Prophet, and 595 grams of silver is 200 silver coins. Now, the purchasing power of 20 gold coins was the exact as 200 silver coins. It was the same. So in that way, there was a scale, there was a proportion where gold and silver were matched in that way. Now, the difference in terms of purchasing power is a 70 to 100 times difference.
But maybe gold is overvalued.
Perhaps, but either
whichever
way, it's a 70 to 100 times discrepancy. So now you would have to spend 70 times more silver, 70 to 100 times more silver to buy the exact same thing. Right? Whereas at the time of Prophet it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm- do you
It
know
was
what I'm saying?
20 coins versus 200, yeah.
So, so Mike, before you go in, so you're saying it's to keep you in currency. This undervaluing of silver, like when did this start? Did it start at the same time as paper currency came around, or is it something that was there from before?
I think let's fact check that.
Yeah. Okay. I'll check it while you.
Okay.
What's the question, Sheikh?
When did the markets start getting when
Fiat.
Yeah, when did the manipulation start? Was it when currency was introduced?
I think it was the first sort of manipulation was when Romans were like debasing gold coins. Like they would put less gold in the gold coin itself. And the population did not know. They would think it's one gold coin, but the amount of gold in that one gold coin was less than what it used to be.
What it used to be.
So that was the first form of manipulation, debasing the gold coin. So they would keep more gold in their reserves and they would use that for war. So that's the first trickery with people. And then, of course, now it's the same thing with the printing of money.
Yes.
It's the same thing. Your purchasing power is decreasing without you even realizing. Okay. You're getting the same wages. Everything is the same. Then one day you go to the store and it's like prices are increasing. What's happening? Because they printed so much money and money first flew to the top funnel. Those guys' asset prices went up first. Your wages didn't go up, but all the goods, everything went up. Now you're like, what's happening? So it's the same form of debasing gold coin.
So I just specifically asked that question to ChatGPT AI. So I mentioned, short answer, yes, the serious and sustained under devaluation of silver lines up very closely with delinking of money from real metal. But it happened in stages, not one clean moment. And then it goes into details where people can check in. So yeah, it gives
your intuition was right.
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting.
Yeah. No, it was based on what you said, right? Because if it's to keep...
It's to keep you out of physical...
Yeah.
I mean, to keep you in fiat.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Because transfer of value historically, and I mentioned it in the group the other day, the first gold and silver were the first modes or the first mechanisms for the transfer of wealth. All right. So if you wanted to buy a land or you wanted to buy anything.
That's what settled the transaction, basically.
Yeah. A mode or a medium of transfer was rooted through physical gold or silver. And when currency became delinked from physical metal, that's when we have a little money printing circus and inflation sky high and literally your cash is no longer king.
Yes.
Right. So anyways, so the drums were beating that silver is undervalued, and if you take your argument or which is valid, that if you look at the time of the Prophet 1400 years ago, the ratio used then to now, it's like silver is devalued or gold is overvalued, whichever way you want to argue it, but there's a ratio differential of about 700%, which is crazy. So for whatever reason, China decided that as of Jan 2026, they would restrict the export of silver, physical silver, and unless you are licensed, these licenses are only issued now to very large companies, and there's a whole set of criteria that one has to follow. So right now there's about 44 companies primarily who would be allowed to export silver. So that had a reaction to the market from around, I think it was $40 or so. The current spot price.
Well, what had the reaction to the market?
Silver price.
The silver price.
The silver, okay.
So the silver price has moved from around $40 to, you can just check what was the actual price, but the spot is now sitting on the COMEX at around 75.
And how
I'll call it in about a week.
In a week?
Almost doubled.
Wow.
Right, so
that's insane.
That is crazy.
For metal.
For metal. It would have gone much higher, but you're seeing banks or you're seeing traders continuously shorting silver to keep the price down. Basically, they manipulating the market. It's open knowledge.
Yeah.
JP Morgan was fined. I think it was. You just check up the actual number. They gained a profit of $100 billion, something like that. Just verify the number. It was 100 billion.
Last week?
No, not last week. Over a period of time, they paid a penalty of $1 billion for market manipulation.
But they made 99.
So it's a very profitable transaction, right? So they continue to do that, and that's what's presently keeping the market to where it is at 75. So the metal backers or bulls, if you want to call it, are saying that when markets open on Monday, physicals already trading at 130 in many markets. They quote Dubai, they quote China, they quote Japan.
Oh, it's actually trading at 100 already?
Physically,
Yes.
Again, quote unquote, it needs to be proven. There's no
in China, you're saying, right, Sheikh?
In China. So,
but on comics, it's still 75 because obviously the market's
on
closed.
comics, it's 75. So Monday, when Chinese markets open, we would get to see whether the banks have won or the paper traders have won at 75, and silver fines trades below now sees a ceiling at 75 and goes below, or the physical the retail guys or the physical buyers have won and silver shoots up above 75. And then anyone's guess to where it lands. I'm not a stock predictor. I'm not predicting the price.
So by the time this podcast comes out, information is already out there. People can go check it out. But who is this important for? This type of information?
So I think it's important for everyone because I'm a believer in hard assets. I wouldn't buy silver right now until the volatility settles, because I need to understand which direction it's going. But certainly, I think people need to keep physical gold, physical silver in the portfolios for numerous reasons. But it's once more proving that so another reason why it's moving is there's genuine utility in silver. People need it to manufacture items. But beyond that, there's this distrust in the fiat system.
Yep.
And de-dollarization has already begun.
Yep.
Things like this just accelerate the de-dollarization. So you need to have physical assets.
On the point of de-dollarization, I don't want to spend too long on it, but I just do want to bring it up. So, it's so clear that people are losing trust in the dollar, right? And I think them, basically doing what they did to Russia, like right now, Europe is deciding whether the confiscated, I think $230 billion of Russian money that they froze, whether they should just give it to Ukraine or not, to fight against them. And that just made people's trust completely just drop in the dollar, right? Because the dollar is the hard asset now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if the dollar is not to be trusted, because the guys that own the dollar, regulate the dollar, control the dollar, could just take it from you, pause it, freeze it, that's just going to make trust kind of drop.
They can do a whole lot more.
Like what?
It's beyond, sorry, before Sam goes on, it's beyond the actual dollar, Sheikh. It's fiat as a whole. So we've seen what happened in other countries, and I believe certain states in the US have already passed the law where they could dip into your personal account, right?
Yes, exactly.
And
this is what I was saying, Sheikh.
Oh, so you were going there? Okay, so
Yes,
why would they dip into your personal account?
Just because.
What do you mean?
Literally, Sheikh, just because.
No, that doesn't make sense.
The money in your account is not yours.
Don't go too far. In the UK, they passed the law that they can directly take taxes or some fees, the government, directly from your bank account.
Yeah.
Most countries
in the
don't
UK.
have that. A lot of South Africa
directly
has
from
that.
your bank account.
That's what happened to you, right? When they falsely charged you of that property tax.
Did I mention that already? On a podcast, I think I did, right? The personal property tax or something. Unemployment
You mentioned
tax.
it on the last Venezuela episode.
Yeah.
About the
Unemployment
corruption.
tax. Yes. So
The unemployment tax, yeah.
Yes. This is what
They
it is.
just straight took from your account?
And it was falsely, without mentioning the story again, I mentioned child might buy. But basically, they took in 2024, they said I owe unemployment taxes from 2016.
Okay.
And they didn't tell me. One day, our accountant said there's $37,000 less in the bank account. $37,000. What happened? It says Michigan State Unemployment Tax. No explanation, no letters, nothing. It's just taken, usurped.
Wow.
The hood, like the cartel just came, boom, done, right? Now, you fight for it, you pay the accountant and whatnot. Like, you call them, you find out the answer is, oh, well, you did not pay 2016 unemployment tax. My accountant was like, my client did not employ anyone in 2016. Why would he pay 2016 unemployment tax? Like, oh, well, submit us all the paperwork. So basically a 13 or 14 months of fight, back and forth, letter, me paying the accountant, hiring another guy, all these to get my $37,000 back.
Which probably cost you $37,000
just to get it back.
Just to get it back.
And no even apology or nothing.
So zero sum.
Yes, zero sum game.
This is not only in the US, it's becoming global. Africa has a similar law now, but that's on taxes, right? Where they sort of have a claim against you.
Yeah.
The law I'm talking about is in times of crisis to bail out the banks, to prevent runs on the banks, to bail out the bank themselves. They could just dip into your account, like done in Greece.
Wow.
You understand what happened in Greece?
Of
right?
course.
I don't understand what happened in Greece now.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Sheikh. I'm just thinking, man, all the accounts where I have to take the money from when you said
So, Sheikh,
What accounts in Greece?
No, not in Greece, Sheikh. Like I'm saying, like USD is not safe, man.
It's not safe, bro. It's not
No,
safe.
it's not USD, it's any currency.
yeah.
This is
any
the
currency.
only time you will ever hear me say, now I kind of understand why the crypto boys work with crypto. It's because of the issues with fiat. That's the only time.
Crypto, the exchange is it's no different. The bank has become as
He's not even agree
disreputable.
with you on that.
It's hard as it's
More extreme than you, Mohamed. He's not even on that. I'm agree.
Not even on that. So even in the exchange, they can do something.
So the exchange, I mean,
the same thing, huh?
It's the same. The banks are in the same position as
Are
the
you think?
exchange.
Are you? It's the same thing. They can just.
That's why we should
yeah.
create our own token.
Yeah.
Real
Inshallah.
estate token. خلاص,
Okay,
we're
so
done.
So the crypto boys would say it. Your money on the exchange is not yours. A hardcore crypto guy would tell you that.
Yeah.
If you have it in a cold wallet, it's yours.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother argument, not for today. But on the exchange, it's not
I
yours.
really want to have this debate. We're gonna
It's
set this
not
up,
yours.
inshallah.
And
Wow. They're after you wherever you go. Huh?
but check this up. I think there's a certain US state that recently passed a law that they can dip into your bank account in times of need.
I'll check on that, Sheikh.
Check on that.
Yeah.
Did you check the $100 billion? Was it $100 billion that these guys had
JP
found?
Morgan was fine.
JP Morgan was fine.
No, I couldn't actually. ChatGPT, some of the things it's not updated. Because
Let's just check Google
Yeah.
because I did see that article.
I'm liking, by the way, on that note, Google's AI better now.
Really? Yeah. Oh,
Because I have my
ChatGPT.
kids use Google's AI.
Check
Yeah.
ChatGPT right now is taban. I'm included. I'll check Google's
by the
one.
way, you're
I'll
so
check
right.
Gemini.
The Google AI is good because
Google
here,
AI
for
is
example, I
ChatGPT
put
just
it's
became
not-
dumb recently. Like, I literally just started putting prompts in Claude and then I put the same one in sometimes I put in ChatGPT first.
Yeah.
Bro, it's
Makes mistakes.
It's become dumb.
It
bro.
gives Fahad was running some numbers, some feasibility, and did it all wrong, bro. And even simple stuff.
Listen,
on
in
spreadsheets and
2020,
everything, giving
Really?
JP agreed to a total
do you-
settlement of $920 million for
Well,
manipulating
and
precious
also
metals and
Gemini.
US Treasury futures markets, not specifically a single $100 million.
They weren't even charged
complexity.
$1 billion.
Perplexity. The thing is,
But the
it
profit was
doesn't
like
have the
100
emotional
billion.
Intelligence
Yes.
of.
Okay,
Research,
let's move on to our next story. So, the head of the Fed, right? His term is expiring in
Mr.
April.
Jerome Powell.
Mr. Jerome Powell. So, the concern here is that Donald Trump, he wants
Mr. Donald Trump.
Mr. Donald Trump, he wants to
Kidding.
Mr. Donald Trump, Sir Donald Trump, President Trump, whatever, CEO Trump, he wants to cut interest rates,
Yeah.
right? And there's been like an issue, a back and forth, because Mr. Jerome Powell doesn't want to cut the interest rates because he's saying the economic circumstances are not appropriate to cut the interest rates. When this guy goes, it's very likely someone's going to come in. They may listen and just follow orders. If so, there could be chaos in the economy. So I want to unpackage this. What is the Fed, firstly? Why are interest rates high? Why does he want to cut them? And what can happen if this goes wrong? If you cut them and the economic environment is not appropriate for them to be cut. Sam, break this down for us.
Okay, Sheikh. So something interesting is happening in the last decade, I would say. The difference between wealth and money. Okay, so paper wealth is increasing.
Okay.
But money is what settles transaction. But that's not increasing in proportion to wealth. And let me explain that.
Yeah, explain that, please.
So let's say there is a founder and he has a unicorn company and he sells 5% of the unicorn company for 50 million USD. So he receives 50 million USD cash. Venture capitalists come in. This is the next big idea. This is the next big Uber, Netflix, whatever it is. A unicorn company, $50 million. We get 5% of the company. We're going to run it. We're going to do it. So on paper, overnight, this founder is what? A billionaire. Because he still owns 95% of the company.
Yes.
$950 million on paper.
On paper.
And he has $50 million cash. He's a billionaire on paper.
On paper.
Okay. But this liquidity has not been stress tested yet. He cannot go to the market tomorrow and say, I want to sell another 25%. I need another $250 million. Okay. Nobody's going to pay that. Venture capitalists got in a rush and say, no, we want discounts. We're the first ones. It's just not going to happen. That $1 billion valuation has not been tested against actual money. That settles the transaction. You cannot go to the marketplace and get billion. But so far, so good. What does this gentleman do? Whatever he needs to finance in his life, he'll take a loan against that valuation of the company. Right? And so far, everything is good.
You've made so much sense.
Everything is fine up until this point because this is they call it the reinforcing debt loop. I call it the debt loop. Okay. The debt loop is you have assets. The higher the asset price, you can put more collateral. The more collateral you can put in, you can take more loan. The more loan you can take out, you can buy more assets. The more assets you buy, the asset prices go up even more. So it's a self-reinforcing debt loop. Until when? Until when there is a real need for actual money, like Sheikh mentioned, that settles transaction. And when does that need come? In like 4 situations. Number 1, taxes. Okay? The person has to pay tax. Okay? What kind of tax? Wealth tax. That UK is suggesting, that California is suggesting now. He does not have $1 billion. Now, if you, Mr. Governor of California, charge him 10% wealth tax, he doesn't have $100 million. He needs to liquidate. Okay? Number 2 is debt service. All these debts he taken out. Now, if he cannot refinance, let's say he took a 5-year loan on a lower term on the 6 years, which is now, let's say 6th year. Now he has to refinance the loan. The interest rate is high. If the interest rate is high, he cannot finance his lifestyle, he cannot finance the loan. So he needs money. He needs actual money to service the debt. So second situation.
When you say debt, you mean
to pay the interest on the debt.
Okay, on the next loan.
On the next loan. The third is margin calls. So when the company was valuated $1 billion 4 years ago, and based on that, these JP Morgans and Goldman Sachs gave you loan, finance your lifestyle, let's say the valuation came down, they will want the money back based on the new valuation because they cannot over leverage you. Let's say they gave you loan on a 60-40 loan to value ratio.
And what if it drops?
If it drops, then there's they want money back. So there is margin call. And the fourth is there's any government policy changes. So as long as there is no such liquidity stress on that founder, things are good because you're on a
cycle,
on a death loop, but you're not understanding it, right?
This made so much sense to me. This is why Elon Musk, $500 billion man, had to take a loan
to buy
X.
Yep.
A billionaire had to take a multi-centi billionaire had to take a loan to buy X.
Yeah, it's like on paper, I'm worth $500, but to purchase this $44 cell phone, I need to take a loan. This is what happened, right? He's worth 500 billion, but to get a $44 billion company, he has to take loan, right? So this bubble pops when there is a need for money to settle transaction. And government has three options, Sheikh, okay? Literally, they have three options. One is to basically tax the wealthy even more. But there's a limit to it. We're seeing what's happening with UK. If you keep taxing the wealthy, pack bags, private jet, go to Mauritius, go to Monaco, go to Dubai, go to Saudi, go to Qatar, wherever you're treated best. That's what they say. I'll go wherever I'm treated best. I don't care about UK, right? So you cannot forever just keep taxing the wealthy. Number two option is cut the spending. There'll be riots, there'll be protests. If you cut healthcare, if you cut free food, free, all the welfares, if you start cutting, there'll be riot and you won't be elected the next term because these are the people that actually vote, right? Number three is you print money or reduce interest rate. These are the only three options. Now, with printing money, also you cannot keep printing because people will lose trust in the US dollar. It's like, man, you guys keep printing. It's not, the purchasing power is still not, it's not the same. If you keep issuing bonds, these countries are worrying. Can US keep up with these bond interest payments? So out of these three options, there's not much you can do. And on top of that, now that's why they're like, okay, we want to introduce these wealth taxes. We want to do this. And now, last point, to top it all up, you add AI to accelerate wealth growth, not money growth, wealth growth to the top 1% or 2%, whatever you want to call it, accelerate. These are $1 trillion companies, $5 trillion company, NVIDIA, or $4 trillion. It's like losing $1 trillion is nothing now. You know, oh, I have $4 or $5 trillion company. Yeah.
Value.
Yeah. So it's all wealth. It's not money. And we're in a very scary position now. If there is pressure is building, we need real money now. And that's why the interest rate has to come up. So that founder can refinance at a lower rate so he does not need the money. And if he does not need the money, that loop continues.
So I understand about taxes. I understand about cutting welfare. I understand about quantitative easing, printing more money.
Yep.
Interest rates. I don't get it. How does that help the situation?
So if you reduce interest rates, banks, central bank can give money to the local banks at a lower rate, which in turn means these banks can lend money to the corporations, the companies, yes, at a lower rate.
Because the founders cannot afford the interest rate.
Correct.
So they stop taking the loan.
Yes.
So the only way is for them to...
Yes, to keep the economy moving is to lower the interest rate.
So I'm going to have to say something.
Yep.
Wallah, I'm not just saying this. Wallah, I'm not just saying it. Because I know I speak in hyperbole a lot of the time. You explained that so much better than Ray Dalio.
No, Sheikh, astaghfirullah. No, you have to cut this out of the podcast.
No, wallahi.
No, it was an excellent, honestly.
All due respect to him, as in, I love his stuff, but that infographic video, I just realized you were explaining that concept.
Yeah.
Wallahi, I'll be honest, I watched it, I was like, I don't really get it. Wallahi, barakallah feek.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. No, wallahi. This is why we made this podcast, so you guys can understand these concepts, man. Like, this is so important to know.
Yeah.
So important to know. So what happens if you cut the interest rates? So why has Mr. Powell not wanting to cut the interest rate? What's his argument?
So first,
this is why riba is bad in the first place, right? You would be in this mess if you didn't get involved in riba.
So, Jerome Powell, I always try to understand when somebody actually stands up and says, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And he has done it many times to US president, right? I like to understand their upbringing, who are their mentors and things like that. And it was very interesting, Sheikh. I found out he comes from a very practicing Christian family. Christian or Catholic, I'm not sure. I forgot, actually. But religious family.
Yeah.
Okay? From people of the book. And they're actually practicing. He was raised well. He was not raised between LGBTQ parents. He was not partying. He was not clubbing. He did not live a life of that. So when you see his decision making, it reflects that discipline as well. Yeah, it's going to bleed. What can we do? We have to cut the arms. It's going to bleed. We're going to suffer, but this is what we need to do. He's from that school of thought. But when you have a model where you have to we only think the election is every 4 years and they have to win every 4 years. They have midterms every 2 years. So you're thinking midterms. Trump's 1 year is over, guys.
He's halfway in through the
midterm. Midterm is literally, I think, June, July or something. Literally. Now, all he's thinking, And what's the one key word, the buzzword in America? One word, affordability. We couldn't afford anything during Biden's term. Mr. President Trump came. We thought just like overnight, he's going to stop all the wars. He's going to do this and he's going to make everything affordable. It's like 1 year, man. It's still the same. The rent's still high. Wages are not going up. I'm losing my overtime. I'm getting laid off. What's happening here?
So they will be able to afford it by taking out loans at low interest rates.
Correct. So he needs to figure out ways. So that's why he's proposing 50-year mortgage. He has to come up with something crazy before the midterm. It does not matter if it's a long-term well-being of the nation. All he cares, I have to win the midterm.
So the solution is, how do we allow people to carry on taking more debt?
That's the solution he's thinking.
So the solution is not let's make more money, let's be more productive. No. It's riba.
Yes, solution is the path of least resistance.
So traditionally, Sam, when interest rates are lowered, it is argued that there's a stimulus in the economy out of the process which you just explained, and that keeps the populace happy.
Yes,
but it also allows governments to refinance their loans.
Exactly.
So the founder, you gave the founder example.
Same applies to the government.
Same applies for the government.
100%.
So the government will.
The government has the most. The U.S. is the most indebted at the moment.
It's basically Ponzi
historically.
Debt. Yes, 38 trillion. It's basically Ponzi debt. You pay off one debt by getting another debt. Then you pay off this debt by getting another debt. It's Ponzi debt.
So I have a question, right? Because I want it's practical for the people. Let's bring it down. So you guys don't take these loans, alhamdulillah. Right? How are you surviving? How's like what's the practical lesson here? How do you survive?
You live within your means. You live within your means, and you be productive.
It starts with that.
It's not this entire riba scheme has, and Sam explained it beautifully. It's paper money that doesn't exist. These companies or these founders are not worth that much. What can you actually afford today? With physical cash or physical assets. That's
you're only really
what you're supposed to be worth. But if your company is valued at 30 times your annual profit,
yes,
and you say that's my net worth,
yep,
it's BS, right?
Yes, absolutely.
You'll only understand that actually if you really have, or if you ran a company before and you looked at your financial statement and it shows amazing financial ratios, but you've got $100 in your bank account, cash in the bank. But your financials are amazing. It's exactly the point Sam made. What's the point of this?
Beautiful income statement, poor balance sheet.
You could actually take this, go to the bank, and they'll finance you. They'll give you a loan based on these beautiful financials. But if you've got $100 in the bank, who's going to pay? How are you going to pay that loan that you just got for interest rates that are superseding the profits that you can make per year? Because whatever profit you make per year is going to get eaten up by the interest rate. So again, it's exactly what he said. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's just
what percentage of the US GDP presently goes to service debt?
So current payment is $1.2 trillion a year,
right?
Just to service debt, and that is basically two departments: Department of War and Department of Healthcare combined. Two departments combined is not even $1.2 trillion.
But as a percentage of total...
As a percentage, 1.2 divided by 30. It's, I think, $30 trillion GDP right now.
I heard that it's more
4%,
than GDP.
Close to 4%.
That's the interest rate.
Yep. No. That's the total GDP. Out of the total GDP, this is what goes towards interest payment, and it's counted as part of the GDP.
Is it capital and interest?
No, just interest.
Just interest.
Just interest. And
so there's not even
they consider interest payment as part of the GDP. Do you understand, Sheikh? Like this is for them, GDP is growing because we're paying interest payment. Right. So even the calculation of GDP
it's designed
is
like
inaccurate.
that to keep the man on the street in debt.
Yep.
So he is he should not concern himself with how the world works.
Yep.
He should go 9 to 5 and just put in his sweat to pay off his credit card.
Yes.
I'll go even
and his
further.
Mortgage.
This is probably something that most people don't know. When you take out loans, a specific amount of loans with specific amounts, and I'm sure both of you guys have experienced this before, banks take personal guarantees and personal power of attorney over your own assets,
Yeah.
the moment you take these loans, you're not in charge of your company anymore.
Yeah. They have recourse.
Basically, what you do is, let's say, for example, I take a loan of $100 million, right? The bank will find, they're like, okay, you have beautiful financial statements, even though you don't have much cash, but you have beautiful financial statements. We'll give you $100 million in financing, right? Before that money is offered to you, it's not even cash in your account. It's instruments. It's basically letters of credit or advance payments. So it's financial instruments. It's not really money.
Yep.
They'll make you sign God knows how many papers that if you die or if something happens or if you're going bankrupt or this or that, they have the top priority over anything, and they take over pretty much your company to pay themselves back before anybody else gets paid.
Shareholders are the last, right? They're the bottom.
They have
So basically, in other words,
they own the company.
they own you.
They own the company, yes.
They own you. And nobody will understand that until you really actually deal with the banks. And I did, unfortunately, because this is part of the construction industry. It's something that you have to go through.
It's coming from someone, mashallah, brother Mohamed, he will not mention it. It's the one who's preparing the financials, submitting it, doing all those things. So he understands how banks underwrite financials to give you loans.
So quick, what are the 3 rules, laws, principles for our audience to, protect and prevent themselves from this bubble, right?
Yes.
Because obviously they're not going to be able to get access to the same type of liquidity as the people who are taking the debts are going to be able to get access to. And also, if this bubble bursts, how do they protect themselves?
Yeah. So number one, Sheikh, why do you need that liquidity? This is the biggest question.
Good question.
Huh? No. So see,
I want to buy more land. I want to.
Yeah. So this is where we actually have to ask why and answer. Because if we go to the deep down, why?
Is it necessary?
Exactly. Why? Am I doing this to, make a point to that competitor? Because a lot of these things are not even needed in life. A lot of the purchases we made, if we actually can be honest with ourselves, look at the mirror and just us, you actually do not need them. Even as a company, you did not need to build that buy that land. We're not going to mention the developer's name and announce that it's going to be taller than Burj Khalifa and the G Plus Unlimited. Now everybody knows you have like 160 cases against you. Why did you have to do it?
Today.
Yeah, you did not have to. This was all a play, just like, I have to show this guy. Like, ask yourself, why?
Ego.
What's the point? Why do you want to build something taller than Burj Khalifa? Like, what are you trying to achieve here?
No, but look, you in order to scale your business.
Yeah, Sheikh, but look, this is what I'm saying. What is scale? Like, we have to be really honest to ourselves.
As you don't have to go that fast.
Yeah, ask yourself, why do you want to scale? Like, literally, if you don't have the right answer, like, why do you want to scale? Why do you want to scale now?
Do you know what I think the core
At what cost? Like, these things need to be answered.
Do you know what I think the core problem is?
Yeah.
It's something I've been thinking about a lot recently. It's capitalism.
That's the answer I'm trying to get to, Sheikh. You said it.
And what is capitalism, right? I want people to understand I'm not a communist. I'm not a socialist. We believe in the Islamic system, which is a lot more robust and, sophisticated, and it balances both ends of the spectrum, right? There's welfare, and then there's also maximizing profit, but not at the expense of, the
Morality, yes, yeah.
and morality and so on and so forth. And we'll go into that one day, inshallah. But capitalism teaches you maximize profit at all costs.
Yes.
So when the
True capitalism.
Yeah. That what actually exists in the world. To be honest, true capitalism.
They don't follow. That's what I'm saying, Sheikh. They don't even follow.
It doesn't exist in any form, because if it did, everyone you would kill people.
Exactly.
But 5-6% interest rate means there's a lot more profit for you. But to make it at the end of the day, because I'm only giving 5-6% back to the bank. But what you have to do when you're gathering funds from investors, they want a healthier cut. They're not going to invest in your projects for just 5%, 6%, 10% return. So you have to give away a bigger piece of your pie.
You have to give equity in the project.
Right? Yeah. So here I paid the bank 5-6% and I get to make this much profit. Well, here,
giving 20% equity in the project.
Right?
Yeah.
And when that happens, you're like, wait, I could have been making more money. But why do you have to make that much more money?
Yeah. But
that's the thing, why do you have to make that much more money?
I have an opinion.
Because
I'll tell you later after.
You can still scale. Like, what's stopping you from getting 100 million, 200 million, 300 million from, inshallah, in 5 years, the plan is that your private equity fund is going to be managing $500 million in assets under management, inshallah, right?
1 billion, inshallah.
1 billion. Okay, so the projection's gone up, Allah malik. But point being is that, look at that. So it can happen.
Yes.
But it just means from that 1 billion, you're going to get a smaller cut.
Yeah.
Because you're going to give dividends, or you're gonna split the shares with your partners. The thing is, and by the way, when you're playing at that level, bro, give the cut. It's money you've already made more money than you need.
Yes.
You'll live and die and not spend all the money that you have, but you still want just that number in your bank account to keep going up.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's riba, man. It's just capitalism. It's consumerism. It's greed. It's greed for something you're never going to use. You're going to live and die and never use it, bro.
Yes, subhanAllah. I'll quickly mention something, Brother
Please.
Mohammed. I know you want to mention something. The main thing, from the line of questioning, sometimes we're like, because I'm going to get this loan at such great favorable terms, let me do a project. That's not the way to think. The way to think is, I want to do this project because it makes sense to do it. Now let me figure out the financing the Sharia compliant way.
So they literally do it the other way?
Everybody. Like, I got a letter recently from a bank, 130 million dirham pre-approved based on the assets. Put everything in collateral, 130 million dirham on a 5 point something. Just chill. So now you might, if you take the loan first, then start thinking, okay, how do I put it to use? That is the wrong model. That's what I'm saying. That's the wrong foundation. You do the project even if you have minus $100 in your, like, you should be so confident. This is such a great project. I'm minus $100. Let me figure out, this is what we did, Sheikh, in Detroit in 2013. Man, how are the wealthy people missing these houses? These are only selling for $2,000, Sheikh, $2,000. Man, these wealthy people in California don't know about it. I don't have $2,000 to my name. But this project makes sense. Now let me figure out how to put it together, the $2,000, and then put $20,000 work into the project and then sell it for $30,000. Project has to make sense
The house
first.
is being sold for $2,000.
Yeah, even now, there's some houses.
Wow, that's right.
Yeah. Less than a MacBook.
That's mad.
Sorry, Brother Mohammed, you wanted to mention something?
For me, if there's anything that I've noticed, like with all the business families and all the people that I dealt with and scaling in general in business, it's that it first starts with the mindset, as the brothers mentioned, as you mentioned. First you have to liberate yourself from this quick gains, quick get rich quick, and you have to start thinking in a generational way. And there's a concept in Arabic, it's called جيل التمكين. نحن جيل التمكين. خلاص. So you come to terms with the fact that I probably will not be able to, see it all, gain it all, but I'm preparing for my offsprings, and my offsprings will prepare for their offsprings. That's the only way you will start to build real wealth.
It's the complete opposite in the West.
Because they don't give a crap about their kids.
Imagine that is a concept culturally you grow up hearing. We are a generation that will not see everything. But it's...
نحن جيل التمكين.
How powerful is that?
How powerful is that?
That's exactly what I wish everybody understood, because really when I started looking at things from the outside, sometimes it's just khalas, it's not your qadr, it's not your risk. Maybe it's your but that's exactly how wealth gets built. It's organic growth that takes time. It's a slow, steady progress, and it just grows gradually. And if you look at all the top great companies, real companies that have real assets, real tangible physical assets, whatever it may be, are companies that are like 6, 7, 8 generations.
100%.
Those are the only ones. The ones that were like went up and quick in, I don't know, a few years.
In and out.
That's the thing, because it takes time. This organic growth, the way that companies really build wealth over time, like really tangible wealth, is something that really takes a lot of time, and it just you cannot do it through loans and riba and all of this.
I want to move on to Freemasons. So, recently, an article has come out in The Guardian. We're showing it on screen here, people can see, where the Freemasons have actually taken out an injunction against the Metropolitan Police, which is the British police, because they're now asking them to basically clarify members of the Metropolitan Police, if they are members of the of the Freemasons, because it's like a hidden group. It's like a hidden, kind of
Crazy.
fraternity. That's how they advertise it. And now they're being asked, if you are a member of the Metropolitan Police, you've got to now make it public. Why? Because there's been reason to believe that there have been miscarriages of justice or prevention of justice, perhaps due to people's connections inside the Freemasons. Because when you have a fraternity of people that are highly powerful, influential, people will kind of pull strings for you and make things happen for you. Like the cave, except the cave is not like the Freemasons. We don't do things that are haram and illegal, right?
Yeah. And sketchy.
But the idea is that, you open doors for your brothers, you give, you make phone calls for them and say, hey, listen.
In an organized fashion.
Right, in an organized fashion. So the Freemasons do that. And I'll be honest with you. Before you sent this article, Mohamed, anyone who mentions Freemasons to me, I just ignore them. I'll tell you why, because I went through my hardcore Illuminati Freemason phase in my teens, my late teens. I was ready, 2012, the world's going to end, let's get ready, the Freemasons are going to take over. I went through that phase, and then I was like, this is
it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole, and it's not healthy. And I realized, like, everything's just Freemason, it just doesn't make no sense. But you always kind of feel like there is
a force,
a hidden hand, or a deep state, or whatever have you. And I thought the Freemasons just like a group, man. It's like whatever. It's like a network. But this article came out, made me actually think, you know what? It's crazy, bro. Why would you be seeking an injunction against the Metropolitan Police? What does the police deal with? What does the police deal with?
Crime.
What kind of crime?
All kinds.
But like we're talking murders, frauds, this, that. And police needs to know if someone has got allegiance
or an advantage over
someone to ensure things happen. So it's standard transparency, right? Like conflict of interest type of situation.
Exactly.
Like if you are part of an organization that can potentially be so powerful and influential that it can help put, I'm not saying that Freemasons do this, but help put potentially people behind bars or help save people who should be behind bars and cover up things. If you're part of the Metropolitan Police has made a good move. Like, we want to know. And then for them to then say, we seek an injunction against you for doing that, that to me is you just exposing yourself.
Something inside the closet.
Yeah, that's like, why would you, it's like the children of Yaqub alayhi salam. They came to Yaqub and they said, a wolf ate Yusuf. And then they said, you wouldn't believe us even if we were telling the truth. You just gave yourself up. Like, you wouldn't believe us?
Yes.
If we were telling the truth? Why would you say that if you were telling the truth? Yeah. You wouldn't believe us?
Even if yeah,
but what the hell are you doing? So this, to me, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Mohamed, man? Because I'll be honest, I don't know how deep the Freemason thing really is.
I mean, tell me first of all, what is Freemason? Because I forgot about it, honestly. Yeah. I read about it a long time ago.
I mean, so basically, it's a very systematic brotherhood that started.
It's a brotherhood, man.
Yeah, it's a very systematic.
We are not.
Yeah, it's a very systematic brother that's very well organized, and they're very big in the U.S. And they go through basically rituals, and you obviously you get elevated as time passes and as you go through various experiences. And this brotherhood is incredibly powerful. Like, if you really think that they have no influence, you would be a bit naive, because they are able to put a lot of their members in very key positions and leaderships roles that you would never even imagine, like U.S. presidents. Harry Truman was a 33-degree Freemason, openly.
The one that
nuked Japan. So you start wondering, like, these kind of people, they have a lot of influence and they have a lot of leverage, and you have to start thinking that there is also, like you said, some force that, is present in specific places to keep things in check, to keep the mandate as it's supposed to be, to run the agenda the way it's supposed to be. Because if there's no such organization, then you really think things are happening just randomly like that? Obviously not.
Bro, the Alex Jones expose, was it Freemason?
It was the Bohemian Grove. It was, but obviously Freemasonry is a big
Alex
part
Jones?
of it.
Jonestown?
No, Alex Jones. Alex Jones is
the famous conservative commentator. He basically,
I don't know this. Who's this?
basically he was exposing all these secret societies. Obviously, Freemason is just one of many.
Yes, there's many,
Skulls and Bones that George Bush was part of at Yale University with all his buddies that basically, caused the war against Iraq. So if you look at it, there's always some sort of organization that happens that brings these people together, and then they obviously advance specific agendas or mandates for the benefit and the interests of a higher group of people.
So these networks are always going to exist, and powerful people, when they come together, are always going to look out for their friends. Apparently there's rumors of satanic rituals, and there's a lot of there's a lot to, at least there's enough I don't know if I ever want to use the word proof, but there's enough information to suggest that some of that stuff might actually be true, right? But put all that to a side, even if there's no like satanic worship or whatever have you, just having a group of powerful people that look out for each other without moral compass is always very scary,
Of course.
It's always very scary. Like there's no checks and balances, and if you've got people that run countries that are part of these groups, and police officers, it's very scary. It's very scary. Which is why you should be in the cave. Sam, to have your own advantage, but without anything
Without
shady,
the haram.
without haram, without the illegal stuff. We don't tolerate any of that stuff. But no, you've got to have. Is the importance of having a powerful network.
Sheikh wants to mention
but-
a lot of
No,
things.
I don't know.
He's thinking, what should I mention?
There's always going to be a deep state. There's always going to be a deep state in any place at any time.
But what I'm trying to say is that that's why it's important for us to build our own powerful networks, right? So that we can also have a competitive advantage. And we can. The issue is that these guys do it, right? These guys go out there and they try to build these networks. I sat with a brother, he's inside the cave. He mentioned to me, most people, when they see like powerful circles, they run away. He goes, I throw myself in. Because I throw myself into those circles. And you adapt, you learn, and you pick up things. So it's really, they say we're only 7 people. It's not a fact, but it's
6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, it's almost true. It's not a fact, but it's like almost true. We're 6 degrees or 7 degrees away from everyone in the world. Yeah. So think about it, right?
I truly believe it, Sheikh.
No, it's
the concept of it, yeah.
Like
especially now.
There are world leaders. I'm like 3 guys away from them.
Yep.
No exaggeration. There's world leaders.
Yes.
There's world leaders. I'm 3 guys away from them. Do you understand? So, and I'm sure you guys know the exact. So my point is that then go and tap into your networks, build your networks, and I guess that was the thesis of the cave. Sorry, I'll pass it to you, Sheikh.
No, I didn't want to mention anything, but I think the crux of what you've been talking about is concentration of power.
Yes.
Which is becoming more and more, it's always been there under different guises and forms. And what you're trying to create and what we're trying to create is very similar. But I think the key point is you want people with morality, and you have a strong filter on that, because you can't have people with power that have no filter or no moral compass. That's a very dangerous formula.
Yeah,
it is.
So let's move on to the next story. So Meta has just purchased Manus, right? Manus for $2 billion. Now, the reason why this story is interesting is because this is the first time a American big tech giant has acquired a tech company with Chinese roots. So it started off in China, then they moved to Singapore, but it's got Chinese roots, and they've purchased Manus for $2 billion, right?
Like, it's not even a year old. It's 8 months or 10 months. Imagine.
So I know in just a few months, it blew up to like $100 million in annual recurring revenue. Have you used Manus?
No.
I have.
Manus is a menace. Bro.
What is it?
Tell us a little bit, Sheikh. Give us a 2-minute overview. I think it will help the audience as well.
Okay, so
He's always on all the AI stuff. He's always like...
I'm just new to, look, I can't lie, it's that
you
brother.
love this stuff.
It's the brother Mohamed Ismail, bro. He put me on. Like, brother, I've been telling you guys. Oh, it's your friend. It's your friend.
He's like, brothers, we're telling you.
Yeah,
About, you're the one who introduced me.
The one he told me about. Yeah, I've been telling you. Basically, look. So you know agents, right? There's this whole thing of AI agent. What's an AI agent? An AI agent is basically, for lack of a better term, and I'm gonna explain it in layman terms how I understand it. Pardon me for not using specific, actual, like official, description. But it's basically you give a prompt to the computer, then the computer starts to do things autonomously for you. It can book flights for you. It can go into Twitter for you and tweet a tweet on your behalf. It can go into a shop and put items in a basket and check out and buy them for you. Right? So all these agents were tap banned, bro. That I've seen. Even ChatGPT, OpenAI made their agent, bro. It was rubbish.
Yeah.
Manus, here's what it does. It's an agent. And it leverages OpenAI, Claude, all of these different ones. And they all have strengths over the others. So what it would do is it would just start using the different ones based on their strengths and their weaknesses, and start doing things for you autonomously. So it can build dashboards for you. Bro, it will produce an app for you. It will make an app for you in front of you, and then you can then interfere and pause the screen and then change the prompt and say, no, do this instead, or you can just go in and start doing stuff. It literally is imagine a robot. Imagine your computer just doing things for you autonomously.
Yeah.
That's what it does. You understand?
So it's a Rolls-Royce robot as opposed to like a Datsun robot.
So it's not a robot, but it's like an intelligence on the computer, and it just works independently, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So these guys bought it. Now, what is interesting to me is that this is the first one they bought with Chinese roots.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously there's a whole concern about China having access to like American data. But
he says he's gonna let them go.
Say that again?
He said he's gonna let them go.
Who said that?
Mark Zuckerberg.
What do you mean?
He's gonna let, like, anything Chinese is gonna eliminate.
That's what they're saying, right? But my thing is, but what's the big deal with China? I don't even get it, if I'm honest with you. Like, why
You always need a boogeyman in the room.
Yeah.
Because China doesn't really seem like it's actually really even a threat to America, if I'm honest.
For now.
Bro, China is a struggling country, bro.
You think?
But they don't have any they don't have any in-house resources.
Go to Africa.
Really,
Go to Africa. You'll change your mind.
Their resources.
Go to Africa. You'll change your mind.
China's resources are all imported, akhi.
You mean natural resources?
Natural resources, right? They import all their food, bro. That can be turned off in a second. China's not in a strong position, bro.
No,
You disagree?
From an import perspective, fine. But Sheikh, in any home, there's a Chinese product. Right?
Yes.
They produce 32% of world's products.
Of all stuff. But in terms of what we're seeing now is a seismic shift in world power. There's a current global world order that was, and I'm not talking about the deeper state and all of that stuff. I'm talking just physically what you see in front of you, where it was Western hegemony over the world policies and resources, as well as economic powerhouse, military powerhouse. If you looked for money and power, you looked up to the West. The days of the West are over. On a couple of podcasts prior, we said these are the last kicks of a dying
Yes.
dog, I think. Maybe you're going to bleep that. But
No, we don't bleep these there, brother.
no, honestly, the days of the West are over. And you're seeing this Eastern bloc of power that's now coming into play. And I mean, the US confronted China some time back, when the tariffs started, to beat them into submission. I don't know if you've seen the reaction of the president. He was like, hey, we've been here for thousands of years
Very
before
composed. Yes.
Very confident, composed. We've been here before you. We will remain after you. We don't want to pick a fight with you. But if you pick a fight with us, we'll make sure we end it.
So let me ask a question, yeah? Where is
The strength coming from?
Where is all of China's money?
China's money used to be in US,
USD.
in USD. China is very instrumental in BRICS. China is now putting a lot of its money into gold.
But where is most of it still?
Probably still in the West.
US banks.
Yeah.
So they've, for lack of better terms, they've got them by, their mail parts. I'm saying also,
But they're creating other avenues, Sheikh. So they're copying the playbook of the West. China is destabilizing countries. They're doing regime change. Maybe
Bangladesh, yeah.
you have to.
And that's why I was saying
Bangladesh
Africa,
was-
because
yes,
of the
yes.
amount of financing
Africa.
and leverage
that
they
was
have
that was
over
China?
African
A lot of
countries.
people say that, and there's evidences to believe that.
explain that to me.
Africa is Chinese controlled, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
they finance everything in
but
Africa.
that seems to me, I understand China's doing a lot. No one's denying that. But what the argument that I'm trying to make here is that whatever it's doing, it's just cosmetics. If you compare it to the US, I don't understand why such a big deal is made about China. Well, I'm saying right now, if the US wanted to stop China, right? I'm not talking about getting involved militarily. I'm saying, bro, just through just the tariffs, it just that I feel like that was an attempt to try and make it seem like we're putting pressure on China. If you actually want to put pressure on China, bro, you've got all of their money. Number one. Number two, all the countries that export resources to China, bro, that export food to China, you just tell them stop. China's got.
But they all need Chinese goods, Sheikh.
They
that
need
again?
Chinese goods, and
They
China,
need Chinese
China
products.
has bought influence, Sheikh. So the West has had that influence exclusively. That influence has now been shared. If the world goes to war, World War III,
Allah protect us.
I mean,
I mean,
it's you cannot sit today and predict. I mean, I understand you mentioned it earlier about all the air force superiority that the US has. There's no clear winner. You cannot
100% there's
say that
No, 100% there isn't.
the Western Bloc's going to win.
No, of course not. Of course not. Of
Key
course not.
power is shifting to the West is on a decline economically, military as well. Sheikh, they maybe have that might and power, air force wise, but ground force they were weaker.
They've not won any ground
There-
wars
there's,
for a long time.
Sorry, China?
US.
They can bomb from the air. They may have a
But one
good,
will make the argument and say, yes, okay, cool. Over a long period of time, they weren't able to manage the insurgencies and they ended up leaving. But every country that they attacked, they destroyed the infrastructure. And none of those countries are stable right now.
but that's by design.
Right? So they can. So it depends on what you use to measure whether they won or not, right? If you say after 10 years they had to leave because they couldn't, do the regime change and establish democracy, and then they were driven out. Yeah, okay, sure. They lost in Afghanistan, lost in Iraq. You can say that. But if you're talking about did they come and absolutely destabilize the country
Yes.
and destroy the infrastructure and put it in a worse state than it was before?
Yes.
Then by those standards, they won.
They achieve their objectives. Yes.
I think, could be completely wrong here, Russia's more dangerous than China.
Yes. But they're aligned. So if the West goes to war with the East,
So that right
China
there,
and Russia is together.
yeah. So that right there, but then
but more dangerous how?
it has more
it's
got more natural
capability.
resources,
Oh, okay.
right? They've got the second largest amount of nukes.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, that's what you meant. Okay.
They have, their economy has now started to grow since the Ukraine war because they became more creative, right? Since they were sanctioned. So their economy has become more productive.
That's true. Yes.
War has made their economy more productive. They are battle ready. Do you know what I'm saying? Or, not battle ready, sorry. They're in battle now, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? The people have woken up as a country. They're more like harmonized and, they have like purpose, and it's the world against us. So the people have the will to fight, the will to thrive. There was a massive alcohol problem in Russia prior to the war. Young men were dying en masse due to alcohol-related abuse. Now they're at work. My point is that it's just all of the causes for concern, and they're angry at the West. They are annoyed. They are at war. So Russia to me seems like the problem. But Sheikh, to come back, America could go to China and say, look, let's improve diplomatic relationships, trade relationships. Don't be with Russia, and then they'd win China over.
China wants the independence. China and Russia have learned that the West over time, there's distrust because the West has proven, or especially the USA, they've proven that they're not a good friend and neither are they a good enemy.
Yeah.
All right. So everyone, by default, because as you say, economically they were tied, or for whatever reason, by default, they ended up with some sort of relationship with the West. But in hindsight and by design, if they had to do it again, they would never be so indebted or invested into the West. And they've learned that lesson, maybe a bit too late, but they're making alternate plans.
And US is internally very weak. The internal division that's happening between the right and the left.
Weak.
Yes, wealth disparity and everything. It's very weak internally.
Do you think there'll be a civil war?
Not civil war.
There'll be civil unrest for sure.
Civil unrest for sure. People don't actually trust when a population of a country do not trust the democratic process of voting and things like that. It's scary because that's the backbone of the country.
And the biggest problem in the US, the biggest problem is just affordability. It's the epidemic right now. It's becoming incredibly difficult to just have a normal life, to afford a normal life, let alone unemployment.
Beyond that, I think the population has grown, or has become a bit more wise to the narrative that they were taught initially.
Yep.
So right now, if the US tried to muster up a couple of million soldiers to go to war,
it's
ground war.
Yeah.
No way.
The army is not more than 1 million, Sheikh.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
They had to gather the population.
Yeah.
If China had to ask the population to come to war, military and civil.
People don't feel as patriotic. That's what she's saying
point.
about America.
Especially the Gen Z.
The man on the street would not go to war, will not pick up a gun and go to war for this.
You say that now, do a couple of false flags, make people believe it, blame it on the enemy.
No, now their understanding is false.
They become
even
wise.
within them, big voices like Tucker and these guys that are calling out.
Have an effective one. You know what I'm saying? It's not
9/11, September 9th,
do you know what I'm saying?
type of thing.
God protect us. I mean, anyway, I personally think China is not really as big of a threat. Their population's in decline. No doubt they are someone to keep on, but it's just the extent to which they've made it out. You know, it's.
I'll agree with you on
even with the Taiwan thing. Yeah, right. Let's say China invades Taiwan. They've got the semiconductor industry. Just move it to a different country. You could literally take the semiconductor industry, just move it somewhere else. Why make such a big deal over Taiwan?
So the thing is, the US does not want any opposition.
Yeah.
They want singular control.
So this is hubris, the hubris of empires.
And China, so China has no evil threat against, or has no evil intent. They want friendly relations with the US and the Western world. They have no evil intent.
US is insecure about Chinese products.
Correct. The US is insecure and saying, okay, you're becoming a bit too independent now.
Yep.
When I scream, you're not necessarily going to listen.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let me start now calling my friends and let's gang up against you. And that's what's happening. So from that perspective, I agree with you that China is not a threat to the US. But if it really came down to it, China has has bought sufficient willpower and influence globally that could collectively pose a serious
That's a fair point.
threat.
No, look, China is a threat. They've got heavy artillery. Do you know what I'm saying? And Pakistan's a threat in that regard. Do you know what I'm saying? Even though technically it's no match for America, but it's like enough damage can be done that it would just not be worth it.
Yeah.
But my thing is just from like a media perspective, the way it's being positioned, it's like, why China? I don't understand why China the boogeyman.
So why Iran the boogeyman? You know, I could ask the same question.
Keep in mind, China is one of those countries.
I understand Iran.
Okay.
But that's a conversation for another day.
But China is one of the countries, is probably the only country they cannot penetrate. They cannot penetrate in the cyber world.
That's also fair.
Completely
They have a,
cannot penetrate at all. Like China does not use a single American
That's fair.
product in terms of social media, internet access, etc. So they have nothing on
It's the
China.
fear of the unknown.
It's the fear of the unknown. Exactly. For them, it's a black hole. So whatever is unknown to them
Very,
is
very good point.
Even
it's-
pop
it's
culture.
good.
Every country has become westernized through pop culture, right? Music
China
and TV. China hasn't. China has introduced their own culture.
I mean, think about it. Really, imagine.
So China is a foreigner.
Imagine, there's a country right there that has over 1 billion in population
Yeah.
that you have absolutely
No
zero,
control of.
no
Data,
control,
yeah.
zero data on them, zero. Come on, that is scary.
And you can't influence them.
and you cannot influence them, zero, you at all.
And they import all of your products. Yeah, fair point.
It's-
Fair point.
it's-
Fair
it's
point.
scary.
Fair point.
1 billion people, more than 1 billion. I think there's like 1.5 billion now.
Yeah.
But you know one thing that I've started to see over the years, over the last year, last 2 years, is how the effectiveness of diplomacy, man. So, okay, win them over. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, as in, you can infiltrate. I don't want to go off topic, but you know how you guys allow me to go off topic for a second? It's super interesting.
We're having fun.
So, in World War II, when Hitler came about and he was doing his thing, he was obviously a problem, right? But actually, the greater enemy at the time and the greater cause for concern was the Soviet Union, because they were a direct existential threat to the capitalist democracies that existed. And these communist revolutions were kicking over all around the world. After the Great Depression, there was about to be a communist takeover in the USA. If they didn't get their act together, US was going to become a communist state. Without going into the details, are you familiar with this?
Not
Yeah,
really.
it was spreading like wildfire, like crazy. Do you understand? So Soviet Union was actually a problem. It was actually a problem. Now, why is it so? And here's another thing, right? So when Hitler invaded Poland, there was actually a treaty between him and Stalin, which was that we will invade Poland together. The Soviet Union and Nazi Germany invaded Poland together, and the idea was to split it in half, west for you guys and the east for us. So he actually did it together, but Europe declared war only on the Germans. They didn't declare war on the Soviets. And basically the theory is that Stalin was a genius, right? He was a genius. He played his cards very, very, very smartly. So without going into too many details, I'll just give you one example to kind of show. So basically Hitler and Stalin were friends. They were friends. They got on. They invaded Poland together. But suddenly Hitler sends troops to invade Soviet Union. And all of the signs of an invasion were present. They were amassing troops at the border, to the point where Nazi soldiers, they abandoned their armies, crossed over to the Soviet Union side and said, I've just come to let you know they're about to invade you. They are about to invade you. And they were shot and killed. And Stalin did not tell his people to attack. Rather, he didn't even amass enough forces at the border. And the Germans came, they thrashed them, and they went all the way up towards Moscow. Do you understand? And then, after that point, Stalin basically, they started fighting and whatever have you, and so on and so forth. So, why did Stalin not listen to those spies? Why is it that they could see the armies lining up on the border, that they didn't what? Take action. Why didn't they start amassing troops at the border? They say, and what we were taught at school, was that because Stalin trusted Hitler.
Yeah.
He's like, he's my friend, right? And he was just fooled by his friendship. And the fact of the matter is that just doesn't make sense. Like a guy who literally took his country that had basically never won a war for like 100 years, that was in abject poverty, to becoming one of the superpowers of the world. He's a terrible person, you know, but you can't really make the case that he was really that stupid. Do you understand? So the theory is that Stalin understood that if he was to preempt the attack against the Germans, the Soviet Union is already the bogeyman of the world. So that if they did that, everyone would just... America would come and attack, would bring America into the war because let's get rid of the Soviet threat. The Germans, the Nazis and the British would make a pact saying, listen, let's put our differences aside.
Soviet is the enemy.
Soviet's the enemy. Do you understand? So he's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bring these guys to me. Rather, I'm going to let them come and let them invade, let them do whatever they do. That will just create more of a problem for the Germans themselves. Because people will see they now see Stalin as the victim, the innocent victim. So that now when they go back
narrative
to attack, we're attacking with the rest of the world. So we're not the enemy anymore. It's Britain, America, and Soviet Union that come and save the day together. Do you understand? So it's like he foresaw that. Now, here's the thing. So then that means Hitler got played.
Yeah.
That means Hitler got played.
Exactly.
And how did he play Hitler?
He just let it happen.
So the theory is that he let Hitler believe he trusted him.
Yeah.
He let Hitler believe that he saw him as a friend.
Yeah.
So Hitler saw him as a sitting duck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get at is that America could just do it China. Do you understand my point? It's like
okay.
you.
I see the parallel.
You don't have to be sinister like Hitler was, but you could just humans are humans at the end of the day. Just, hey guys, we don't want issues. But it's hubris that gets in the way. It's the arrogance.
But beyond that, what people need to understand is America has... See, it's not the president that calls. Okay, we don't want to go into that debate. You can delete that. But ultimately, there's an industrial military complex. And that's
the problem.
That needs to be fed.
That needs to be fed.
That's the problem.
So they need wars to keep the economy tight.
That's the machine. To keep the machine running, you need war. There's no other way to make sense of it.
See, Afghanistan ended, Ukraine started. Ukraine's ending, Venezuela.
And just so people understand, like what that is that America spends a ridiculous amount of money in its defense budget.
It's part of the GDP. It's part of the spending.
It spends more money than it needs to. Bro, we just established that they've got 4 out of the 5 greatest air forces. Like one country. Like all of Russia is number 3. Do you understand? So you don't actually need to. But here's the thing: those companies are owned by capitalists that want more money, more business.
Raytheon.
Call me a conspiracy theorist, but I honestly believe, and I read so much into it, that the American defense system, whatever you want to call it, is directly owns or operates all the top companies in Silicon Valley.
Coming to that, Sheikh, you mentioned it previously.
And these people are just puppets.
So just before to make that point, just to lock off this, and then I'll bring you. You know, Eisenhower, what he said in his speech when he was leaving, he said something to the effect of, like, this military-industrial complex, like, watch out for it. It's out of control. He actually said it as a president. So if you try to stop the wars, these guys are too powerful. Sorry, go on.
No, so repeating or moving on to what Mohammed's saying, I've read it's very similar, and there is, if someone researches it, there's enough fact to prove some of what you're saying. But beyond that, the military complex is... Astaghfirullah. I lost my train of thought. Just repeat. You were talking about this. The Pentagon.
Yeah.
The Pentagon. Do you know for how many years in a row they've failed their audit, the annual audit? They can't account for trillions of dollars each year.
Imagine that. They could not balance their balance sheet. Pentagon.
Why?
The money's just like unaccountable.
We don't know where it's going.
The money's
going
going
in
somewhere.
your company, what would you do, Sheikh?
I'll be like, what the hell's going on, bro?
And it's trillion.
We're not spending the money, bro. What are you doing with the money?
you take some action, right?
Yeah, of course, I'd shut it down.
And one of the
But if it happens every year in a row, it's planned.
Under
right?
your watch.
Crazy.
What's the figure? How many trillion?
Trillions for sure. 100% trillions that are unaccounted for does not balance in the balance sheet.
And one of the
Yeah,
biggest,
every
and
year.
one of the biggest and most public one was during the attacks of the 9/11. If you
Yes.
remember,
Yeah.
just disappeared.
So
just
the
trillions of dollars
and they-
disappeared.
The Pentagon is who, by the way? Sorry, this is
The defense.
it's the defense.
That's
okay.
the
So they handle the military stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but they also have a lot of money. So what I was saying, and maybe Sheikh Ebrahim can continue on that, is that I truly believe that it's just the Pentagon just operates on two ways: the physical, hard power, which is all the military, industrial companies, etc., and the soft power, which
Silicon
is
Valley.
Silicon Valley. So those two.
Why do
Just-
why do they need Silicon Valley?
Oh, what? It's never ending. Data, control, leverage, finance, just the eyes and ears. They know.
Talent pool.
They know where everything is going, the trends, what people are doing, what people are not doing. That's exactly what we were saying, why they're so scared of China, because they have absolutely zero knowledge on anything, on
from a
any
technology
citizen in
perspective.
China.
Barakallah fiik. طيب,
But
man.
you're going to say a point, Sheikh Ebrahim.
No, it's fine. You've covered it.
What
quite
was the
well.
book you mentioned that this is in? You mentioned on the previous episode. Something X.
X, yes. Let me look it up. It was last time.
I book cut the breath out, yeah. The pause,
We're
sorry.
taking a break now.
Yeah.
It's Steve Blank, but I remember the name of the book.
Mashallah, well, Mohamed is super organized, man.
Yeah, always.
I love it, love it, love it.
Unit X. Unit X.
There's a I'm just reading it now.
So basically, at Steve Blank, his documented thesis, Silicon Valley was literally built by Pentagon money. Early funding for semiconductor satellites, networking, computing. And before venture capital, there was a Department of Defense.
Unit X, it says, is written by Christopher Kirchhoff.
Yeah.
And Raj Shah.
Yeah. So 1 minute, sorry.
Unit X. How the Pentagon and Silicon Valley are
I think maybe Steve Blank is a co-author.
transforming the future of war. No, Christopher Kirchhoff is the co-author.
Okay. So yeah, I got the name wrong. So Unit X is the book.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
So Sheikh Mohammed, the fund you're looking for is a venture capital arm of the CIA.
Mm-hmm.
It's called InQtel. That's what you're referring to. It doesn't.
CIA. Oh my gosh, this is a different world. It's a different game, bro. This is different.
Once you start thinking like that, because it just when you think about it, like how did these guys? I always thought about it like you cannot just become worth $1 billion just like that in a decade.
I think we should do an episode.
You cannot. It's just not possible.
Because we spend quite a bit of time on America, the powers of America, how did America become America?
Yeah.
Okay,
We should do a podcast on that.
it's a very good episode.
Who are the men that built America?
The founding fathers.
Official version or the unofficial version?
Both versions, Sheikh. Let's do the both versions. Seriously, because America was a discovered island in the 16th century. There was Native Americans living there. What happened? Like, what happened?
Don't even get me started on Christopher Columbus.
Yeah. How
Don't
did
even get me
it come
started.
to? Okay, we can even start like post 1776. Let's say from 1776. By the way, America's 250th birthday is this year. It's 250 years.
It's crazy.
So we can all talk about it, complain about it. 4 out of 5. This about that. Like, okay.
We talk about your book. I'm dying to finish it. 1929.
1929.
That's
we'll go
Insane,
through it.
right?
episode in itself.
Yes.
We'll go through it. طيب, just to conclude, inshallah, there's a article came out of Harvard Business Review, the surprising success of hands-on leaders. So obviously, there's always this debate: what type of leadership is better, hands-on leadership, hands-off leadership? Sam, what are your thoughts? You sent this article in.
So it was a very interesting article. I don't know if you brothers got a chance to read on it. So basically, Harvard Business Review article, and they're saying we all know, like, what's the author's name, Sheikh? Peter Drucker?
Yes, Peter Drucker. Yeah.
Yes. So all the management books, everything that we read, and we just know from our thing, the leaders should work on the what, the vision, and so forth and so on. The hows should be figured out by the middle managers, right? But what the article makes the argument, it's the few of the greatest leaders have this paradoxical trait. They can zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, and that's what separates them. So they get into the hows, then they can go back to what? Then get into the how, go back to what? So they use the example of Jeff Bezos. So what, the vision is there, but how, not every single how, the how that basically directly relates to creating values for a customer. So for example, Amazon, and now we're all doing KPIs and whatnot, but Amazon at that time, he was obsessed with literally timing people how long it takes to package and deliver. Now, this to us sounds like common sense now, but it was not common sense back then. And as a leader, he could be like, my vision is to become the XYZ. You guys figure out the how. No, he was known to have OCD on customer service.
You
Right?
know who else did that very well? And I'll let you, Ray
No,
McCrock
please.
with McDonald's.
Yes. No, go ahead, finish, share the story, bro.
Because I want you to continue. But Ray McCrock actually perfected exactly what Brother Sam did, and he was timing every single thing. In the making of the burgers until he perfected it.
Yep.
And he knew all the details. He was literally obsessed, OCD, like Brother Sam did. And he actually took over from the McDonald's brothers because of how well he ran the operations and scaled it like crazy.
Yeah.
And that was the first proven successful concept of franchise business, right? Because the formula, and you have a corporation, a world corporation ran by who? 16-year-old kids. 16-year-old kids everywhere, 16 to 18. Your first job is McDonald's, right? Running a mega corporation because the leader was obsessed with the how. So any how that is customer facing, that drives customer value, we should not like, oh, I'm the leader. I just like see dreams and then I inspired the people, instilled all that you do, but you also have to, and it's customer values, you have to be in it. You have to be paradoxical trait, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out as needed. So the article uses the example of Jeff Bezos more so, and also Toyota. I did not read Toyota's example a lot. I think the founder's name is Eugene Toyota or something. That's the founder. And he was like that too. And look at Toyota. Still like the top selling car is Toyota Camry for like so many years in a row in the world. And because he was obsessed with the how as well.
I think you could argue that Musk is very similar.
Yeah, you're right.
I think even Steve Jobs was probably very similar.
Yep.
But I think so I agree with that, the findings of the article. I didn't read it, but if that's what it portrays, I agree with that. What happens generally if, as a leader, if you are disconnected from your customers and from the shop floor, you get a version of events through your managers that's not real.
Yes.
And it would impact your profitability, your bottom line, and your numbers, KPIs, whatever you want to call it, and it would be too late for you to figure it out.
Correct. The feedback loop would be really late. Just to add quickly, Shah, I just remembered Jeff Bezos does that. One of my investors were telling me this in 2016. He was a senior corporate executive with AWS, Amazon Web Services, not even like Amazon the retail, Amazon Web Services. Senior executive, but it was required for the executives to spend, I forgot, 2 days or 5 days in the range in the factory. Like, bro, in the factory, like the warehouses where everything gets packaged, they have to do the packaging and everything. It's required by Bezos. So you understand, like, on the ground, you have on-ground reality of what's happening. The executives are required to do that as part of the training, the boot camp.
I had every manager has to go into the trade. So even if the finance manager, he had to go visit stores with the reps.
This is so powerful.
And even at sea level, we had to be in the physical storefronts at least.
Like when it comes to construction, walking the.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to interrupt you, gentlemen. Is that I think the best industry to get the perfect embodiment of this article is construction. Because when everything is smooth sailing and nice and beautiful, you're making money, it's good. You like Brother Ebrahim said that you live in this in your own little bubble. But when the margins start becoming small, when the projects start getting delayed, when you don't really know what's happening on site, I cannot begin to describe to you how the smallest thing on site compounds because it delays everything because it's sequential, right? So it's like that, for example, that group of laborers were not productive today for, I don't know, for 20, 30%. It delays the entire process of casting, and that casting delays the whole project. And then you've got another set of problems. Construction is the perfect example of how you need to understand, like Brother Sam said beautifully, zoom in and zoom out. You don't really need to know everything, but you just need to know how it works. You need to understand the concept so that when someone brings a problem to you, you know what's going on down there on site. You actually know. You've been there. You've seen it.
My concern is, how do you... So, if I could be a bit vulnerable with you guys and explain a problem that I'm actually experiencing right now. So what I did is, I put people in place to handle certain things within the company, and then I step back, right? Because I've got someone, you're competent, you should be able to do the job. Do you understand? And I realized that I stepped out too early. So now I've created a few systems to create alignment and accountability and cohesion, just to ensure that everyone's got the wider picture, things are happening fast, and things are moving at such a fast, rapid pace now, alhamdulillah. But I literally...
Seamlessly.
I wouldn't say seamlessly, but...
Better
Little interference.
Speed. Like, things are happening quickly, you know? Like, I'll give you something small, like a payment that needs to be made for something, could have been delayed for like 3 days. But now the senior team gets together every single day for a 15-minute stand-up. I manage it, right? I lead it. And it's just, I need this done now. Because the guy who's in the fulfillment department is making it clear to the guy who manages the money, just so you know, I need that now. And then we just hash it out there, and then why it's such a priority, it gets done, otherwise it would take 3 days. Now, there's like 2-3 things like that are being solved every single day. And then I'm also leading these same these daily meetings with different departments, right? So the fulfillment department and also the media department every single day.
Ops meeting, basically, operations meeting.
Right, for these departments. So a third of my day is just meetings now. The bang for the buck is immense, but there's so much other stuff I've got to do that others can't do. Like, for example, like media compliance, right? To make sure that what we're doing, you know, it's like that's a thing within itself. Do you know what I'm saying? Coming up with the strategy for tomorrow's event, right? And like, that's my version of Bezos coming in and making sure all the packaging is like done to the T. I want to make sure that everything from these events is phenomenal, flawless, and then we replicate the exact same thing in London. And if it needs to be replicated, for example, in Amsterdam or Islamabad, they could be replicated seamlessly. Like, that's what I want to focus on,
Right.
and things of that nature. But I just physically can't right now because I'm doing this. So I realized I stepped away too early, and now I'm realizing that me being present is just having huge bang for the buck, but it's stopping me from doing other things that really only I can do. So what I'm trying to do is I want to get my team to a point where I don't have to be present at anything other than that one 15-minute meeting with the whole team. I feel like there's high value in that. But then to be present at the fulfillment meeting and then the media meeting, and I'm not even the head of that department, but there's just that extra source that comes from me being there. Do you know what I'm saying? So how do I wean them off me?
So I think, Sheikh, it's in to change the rhythm and the culture. It takes some time, but you've got to be intentional about it. If you're saying a third of your day is
that's quite a bit.
That's quite a bit. Honestly, you need to cut that down. One way I would, we all love reports and we all love things, right? Initially, it's fancy and it's nice and it gives you some dopamine. Honestly, at some point, you just begin to manage by exception. If it's right, I don't want to know.
You don't want to hear it.
Yes.
What's wrong today? Let's just deal with that. Because by routine, by automation, and by process, I expect everything else to be going right. So I think you got to start managing by exception. And those exceptions have to be brought up to the meeting that you are involved in that 10-15 minutes. Regardless at what level it is in. Eventually, So initially you may see a bit of mispriority. So, some menial thing being brought up. It's fine. But then you'll teach them about impact and priority a bit later.
So that's my thing. I currently haven't been able to develop the skill of teaching people. Like, as in, how do you teach them?
You can't teach. I can't teach people.
You can't?
I can't.
So what do you do?
So
Like how blunt and honest he is about it. He's like, listen, I don't have time for that bullcrap.
No. I even if I wanted to, I couldn't.
But why though?
No, you come across as a good
No,
teacher.
what,
I'll be
yeah,
surprised.
exactly.
No.
That, why can't you? Is it because you don't want to, or you don't
I think
have
I
the
don't
patience?
I don't have the patience.
Okay, there you go.
And I wouldn't have the
The know-how.
I'm not the know-how of breaking things down to
Yeah.
that level that they need to be taught. So my hack is get a very strong
Operator.
But go through.
So yeah, that's just my hack. But I think you should just learn to manage by exception and get the right reports to you. So every day, and then maybe what's happening, you're feeling the need of bringing everyone together every day because of people working in silos.
Yeah, that's the silos.
That's the issue.
So
Yep.
so then maybe some level of that doesn't have to be daily. It's a weekly thing. Some of it can be monthly, but it's also the culture of every single customer is king, right? We all believe in that.
Yep.
And every single department is a customer of the other. So, for example, sales is a customer of finance. It's a customer of fulfillment.
Correct.
Beautiful. And that.
What do you mean by that?
So, for example, sales cannot. So, sales went out there. They've converted the client. When fulfillment messes up, they're not looking at fulfillment or warehousing. I'm looking more real world businesses, but I suppose it can be brought into the digital space as well. So when their order is not delivered, the warehouse manager or the distribution manager doesn't get a call. It's the salesperson who's getting fire from the client.
Yes.
So
important.
He needs to be backed up. The concrete producer or the concrete supplier didn't deliver concrete and the slab is not cast.
Yes.
No one's phoning the concrete supplier to let him have it. It's your PM that's taking flack.
Yes.
All right. So most departments don't understand. You've got to bring that culture, but that customer is king, and
Correct.
we all exist
Yep.
to fulfill. We all are here for sales.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it in a couple of podcasts ago that you read it in a book.
What part, Sheikh?
That everyone exists for sales.
Yes, he mentioned it.
Yeah, was it you?
Everything is a sales
Oh.
in life.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Everything is a sales in life.
Every
Everything
word
in
is
sales
commission.
life, and then I was saying that you even have to sell yourself to
to the
potential
girl.
wife,
Yeah,
to a girl.
100%.
Yeah.
It's a sale.
So it's same in your business. Every single department, if finance exists to serve sales. So if finance pays late, the inventory arrives late. It impacts.
Correct. So basically,
Fulfillment to the
each
client.
department, when they give a commitment, the other department should be able to, I say, cash the check. Like
Yeah,
you said,
yeah.
it'll, like, I'm your customer now at this point,
Yeah.
right? Because based on what you told me, I gave promises to the end user.
Yes.
Now I'm your customer.
You told me it's going to be ready on
Correct.
this day.
Yes.
Oh, I've also got problems
Correct,
with Lion app.
correct.
It's your problem to get it done on that day.
absolutely. I have to be able to cash that check in the bank, meaning your word is cashable. That's it. I can count. Like I can go to sleep with that word.
For me, I would.
So your department managers need to be at that level, and you got to mediate that fight. Let them fight,
Yeah,
and let all the stuff come
absolutely.
out. That this guy let me
Let the
down,
stuff
that's
surface.
what-
Yes,
So and then you'll figure
I
out.
do that, by the way.
But I would go a step further also. Everything that Brother Ibrahim said, mashallah, super accurate, spot on. But I would say something that you could do on your own is always try to convert things into some sort of KPIs or some sort of number. Quantify everything. For me, I'm obsessed with data and quantifying. I literally time every single thing I do. If it takes me longer than it should take, then I delegate immediately. If it's not important, delegate. because my time is worth something, is a lot more worth than just focusing on these small tasks. So you quantify and you look at how your time, because if you look at your most valuable asset that you can never get back is what? Time.
No, 100%.
You know what the issue for me is, Akhi? Is that the reason why I find it hard to delegate or to even train these things that take my time is because a lot of it is down to intuition. It's down to just knowing, you know? Like, sometimes I can...
So you got to paint a picture of success.
Okay.
You'll always override, fine. But so you delegate it to whoever, hey, get ready for tomorrow's event. But you've got to tell him what success... How does he know what exactly... You've got to show him what success looks like.
Define it.
And then you start...
Then
You just refine from there. You'd give input, but that input would become lesser and lesser over time.
Yep. For example, Sheikh, let's say, if I could mention, let's say thumbnail. You're mashallah obsessed with the thumbnails, right? So
They're
that's
good,
it.
huh? I like.
Yes. And he's still
good.
not happy because I know from the inner, from some of the inner meetings I was in, he's still not happy, right? So my thing is, Sheikh, then because I know when you're saying some of these things are instinctive, because maybe you're thinking about thumbnail, I don't know. Because
As an example,
let's say, right? But even that, Sheikh, could be broken down into formula, what a successful or a great thumbnail looks like, right? And then you got to keep refining it. And also, second, Sheikh, maybe if the level you want, maybe it's the wrong person that's doing the thumbnail. You're thinking that person is capable. You're forcing it, kind of.
But the answer would only come once you define what success is. Right?
Correct. That's very
Going to
important.
McDonald's issue.
Yeah.
How they got there is by, we all say SOPs, etc., all well and good. But it needs to be broken down to the level where the 16-year-old kid can come in today and produce. You should be able to get in a new thumbnail designer and tell him, right, go run.
Correct.
He should have a document that tells him this is what Imran's looking for. You don't need to tell him what
He was telling people how many pickles in each burger. He was telling them how many,
I worked in McDonald's, bro. Even how to place the pickles.
How many chips?
Yes, they even teach you how to place the pickles.
Yeah.
So, one of my first jobs was in McDonald's. Literally how to place the pickles, everything. And I was fresh out of the boat from Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Not only a 15-year-old fresh off Bangladesh. And I became a manager of McDonald's. I became so good because the system was great. It's not me, right? So...
And that allows you to scale. Correct. When you have good systems, this is the key ingredient for scaling.
you know, I just feel like this remote working kills.
That's, Sheikh, we should do an episode. I'm completely opposed to it.
Remote workers are no workers at all.
I do not believe in remote working at all. Zero. I'm old-fashioned. I'm dinosaur. I have to see you.
Me too. I have to see you. You have to be in a dead, and you have to be in a work environment because can you imagine the amount of distractions that you have at home?
The remote does not cut it for me, Sheikh. Everybody has to be in the same energy.
And you have to be out of your comfort zone to be able to really think and be able to be creative. You have to be in a working space, in a working environment. I don't know, this working from home stupid idea.
It costs you more in the long run as a company. Companies think you're saving by hiring people from all over the world, but it will cost you more in the long term.
Yeah, as a startup, initially to save costs, but once you've got traction, you should.
Yes.
The other, just to add on to what they're saying, I support you guys what you're saying, but beyond that, Sheikh, what I've seen in this industry, in the digital industry, is a lot of people are part-time employees. So, if
Life
half
happens.
the day is
Life.
looking at this,
Wife
and
issue,
then
children
now
issue.
you're trying to switch his brain completely in a different
I
environment.
cannot tolerate
Doesn't
that,
work.
bro.
You hear they know that.
Zero patience.
They should not.
Like
They should be focused only on you, doing nothing else. Illegal. You catch them doing anything else, fire them.
Last time I mentioned something, and I need to get that video. I have to send it to you.
You have to know that.
You can only come up with the best solution, the absolute best solution, or any solution to any problem if you can really isolate yourself and focus from 30 to 60 minutes. If you have a problem and you isolate yourself, complete, no distraction, 30 or 60 minutes, 9 times out of 10, you're going to come to solution for any problem. So imagine if your workers or your people that you work with actually did that in a workspace.
Yep.
How much more
Noise cancellation, workspace, just this, 100%.
I was just showing him my noise cancellation. I put these in my ear, lock in. I put my timer, what's it called? Flight mode, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and I cancel out. That's the only way. It's not because now your phone, people, your attention is the most valuable asset, and these apps and everything is trying to get it. You need to lock in. You need to isolate.
Sheikh, working from the beach in Mexico, yeah, you can build a $100,000 company, even $1 million. You get lucky a year. But if you're trying to build the Apple of what industry you're in, it doesn't happen working by the beach in Mexico. It just doesn't happen.
And it doesn't happen for people that are distracted between 2-3 different.
No way. You'll never get the same creativity. You'll never get the same productivity. You have to lock in.
I actually quite enjoyed this
mentor. This is what it is about. I actually learned.
This discussion or the whole podcast?
The whole podcast, but this discussion was like really getting the juices going.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe we should invite guys to throw their problems in.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's fix problems.
Yes,
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Also, just quickly, I'll mention, I know we're running out of time. One thing I've noticed, if you have a co-founder or a partner in the company, it's very important to spend time with them beyond the work life as well. Have breakfast with them, do a workout with them, go on a walk with them, bring the families together, spend time.
Yes.
If you look at Sheikh, you have read the book, The Ride of a Lifetime. Robert Iger.
What's the book called?
Ride of a Lifetime. He's the CEO, bro. Fascinating
Very
book.
good book.
So he goes over the process, how he closed Steve Jobs, how he closed Marvel, all these guys. It was years of
dated with his wife.
years of breakfast and lunch and getting to know the person. The same thing with your partners. It has to be beyond work. So that's the way to, it's not like 9:05 a.m. daily huddle. I'm going to motivate you guys. 9:30, I'm not available anymore. Tomorrow again, 9:05. No, vision is instilled during lunch, during coffee, during tea. You see this? Bam, bam,
so that they don't see you as a robot.
And your greatest ideas come out of
Exactly.
that outside work environment discussions.
Yep, Sheikh. That's it's coming from mistake actually. Not like I've done it perfectly. Remember I told you a story. I have lost partners earlier because I was like a robot. I was like a maniac. Just work. If it's not work, class, I don't have time for you. If it's not work, I don't have time for you. No, it's the stupidest thing you could do. Anyone can do. You know, Sheikh, you have to, if your partners, I'm not saying with everyone you go out for lunch, it's not possible practically, but you take team lunch, team outing, creating that culture, but especially with the key stakeholders in the company, has to be very important to build that relationship beyond work, getting to know them. It goes with the Umar Radhiyallahu anhu's athar, right? If you're not traveling with someone, how are you going to know them? And without knowing them, how are you going to build something?
If you haven't dealt with money matters with them.
Correct.
Very interesting.
Absolutely.
That taught me of something, another hack for you, Sheikh. Do you run any incentives? Staff incentives, bonuses, or?
For the sales team and the fulfillment team.
Okay.
I would do it with everyone, Sheikh.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I mean, that's personal choice, but let their families know about it. At some point, I got the salespeople's, created an event, got all the families in. I said, these are the prizes over the next quarter.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yes.
Khalas. When they went home, their wives made sure they
hit that.
performed.
They hit that. That's very powerful. I like that.
You know
I don't
who,
understand.
you know who actually mentions something along those lines? David Goggins in his book Can't Hurt Me. He mentions accountability partner.
Yes.
Everybody needs to have an accountability partner to keep him in check. And in the case of Brother Ebrahim, the accountability partners were the parents, the families, the spouse.
Okay.
Like, hey, listen, if you're going to slack, we're missing out on this. So now he has to think twice.
And I made the prizes things that the ladies at home would want.
There you go.
So the washing machines, things that they need, a new couch, home makeover, things like that.
Yes.
Think about
cash.
Think about
What they're
everything.
incentivized by.
Think
So
about
they
your
were
life.
incentivized.
Think about
They
your
made
life.
sure the husbands worked.
Yeah. Think about your life. If you just woke up every day with everything that you do, you have an accountability partner.
Yes.
Gym, work,
Yes.
personal life. It's a game changer.
Yes.
You could pair people, by the way.
Yep.
You could pair them, like people together within your own organization. One person is in the accountability partner of the other.
Very interesting.
And also on the incentive part, one thing I believe in, even our receptionist in the office in America for our brokerage gets commission. Receptionist. Because the ultimate KPI of the company is sales.
Exactly.
So now when she is like
She's
greeting the
incentivized.
customer, she's not saying hello. She's saying hello, It's like a widest and the biggest hello, because she's incentivized. She could have said a normal, nice hello, but she's more incentivized. Like this
has
person
skin in
is
the game.
in. Yes. He's in. He only goes out after giving us a deposit check. Now the whole office, from everyone in the office, like incentives to make sure this guy doesn't leave the office without giving a deposit check, right? So, because that's what we want. We're collecting deposit checks, we're closing. So the ultimate KPI, I think it's good to incentivize everyone, even if it's something small. It could be just a token. You do your budget. This is my cost of sales. Let's say 6%. Okay, now even if it's a small chunk to the receptionist, to the cleaner, whatever it is.
The danger on your variables, initially they work, but at some point it becomes too prohibitive.
Yeah.
So how I dealt with that, so I agree, incentivizing the company, but to get that balance, from the budget you just set aside non-productive or non-asset or sales generating stuff, a single pool.
Yeah.
And so percentage just goes there.
Right.
And from there, depending on each department's KPIs.
Yes, so you create buckets. Very good.
So buckets.
Yes, very good.
Otherwise, if it's from every...
It's too much pressure on you, yeah.
Every dollar coming in,
Yeah.
the variable becomes
Yes.
complicated as you scale up.
Yeah.
It becomes prohibitive.
Thing you said about bags and all the home cooker, so, incentivizing. One thing we ran last year or the year before that, basically Mexico trip for the family. We announced for the top salesperson, right? Oh my God, now the kids, the wives, everybody's pushing the sales. You gotta be that man. All paid for, all inclusive, 5-star experience. And Mexico from Detroit is like going to Dubai, just so you guys understand the context. Because you might be like, Mexico, bro. Dubai, what are you talking about? That's Dubai for Detroit,
My gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah, so because once that's done, and of course everything, like Sheikh said, when you have the buckets, it's actually creating greater value for the company.
People operate very differently when they have skin in the game. When they have skin in the game and there's accountability partners, it's very different. Very different.
Interesting. Very interesting.
The remote workers got to move here, Sheikh. He's already firing some people in his head. And they're hating me now.
I can see some guys have problems.
They're watching this podcast and I go, Sam.
No, but it could be a lesson for some of these people, right?
Yep.
Maybe they need this wake-up call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might be the guy editing it. I'm joking. Actually, man, Abu Bakr just let someone on the team go for the same reason.
What reason?
He just started taking on jobs with other people and just wasn't able to keep up. We tried out of mercy to keep him for as long as possible. But it's
No, Sheikh, it should be a standard law.
Yeah.
They should give
now it is. Like now very
You'd be surprised. You'd be
Yeah.
surprised at how people sometimes can't even do the ABCs. Once I sat down with, he's a friend of mine, Andrew Tate's content manager, like the guru, the guy that operates all of his content. And he told me, you cannot believe, especially with the newer generation, we tell them just do ABC and we pay you this much, and they pay a lot. Because you see Andrew Tate's content. It's crazy. And he's like, half of them can't even do ABC. Just lazy, distracted, fragmented, attention.
It's a TikTok brain.
They
It's TikTok brain. It's very hard to work with Gen Zs in general.
Beautifully said. TikTok brain. They just so and to him it's fascinating that we are paying you this much for ABC and you still can't do it. He had to let go half of the team.
Sheikh, I made the best burgers in the world for $5.25 an hour. I'm telling you, when I worked at McDonald's, because that was my job. I took pride in it. Like, I'll cook the best burger you've ever had. I'll put so much salt in the fries, you keep coming back for it. I'm kidding though.
food, man. You guys are enemies. Well, barakallah fi guys, man. This has been as usual, very educational, very enlightening podcast. I learned so much being with you guys. I can only imagine what it is like for the people. SubhanAllah, just there was a comment, I think on the second episode or third episode, someone was like, this stuff It's criminal that it's free.
Yeah, it should be illegal.
Yeah, it should be illegal,
that's
right?
exactly. It's like this content should be illegal.
So I just want to say, man, well, this after Allah's fadl, this wouldn't be possible without you guys. So, barakallah feek, you guys take out your time.
I never rewatched any of our podcasts. I did one of the last two ones. Because when you're in it, you miss so many things because you're talking, you're in the discussion. Literally, I learned so much from you brothers.
Same here.
The last one was the I actually watched it back. Like the last one.
Oh, the one where we were there.
Yeah, that was.
Ooh, that was solid. That was heavy. Even me, I was like, damn.
Yeah, I rewatched that, and that's when I realized about your
Pentagon
angle.
thing he was gonna say. Yeah.
And then I realized, there's a valid point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, man, may Allah bless you. Make sure you check out the ecosystems of our brothers. Go check out their social medias and everything, and so on and so forth. And hopefully we see you next week for another episode, man. May Allah bless you. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.